The Flash 907 aired tonight, the second interlude of The Flash Season 9, or I guess the fourth, because 901 and 902 were definitely interludes. No one wants to admit that, But, no, the actual interludes this season, this is the second one for Season 9. As far as I'm aware, 908 could be the last one. It depends how 909 goes. It could be both. But 907 was better than 906. So, it's not like it was the worst episode this season. But it definitely wasn't up there. I got really let down this episode. I was expecting that code figure to be Oliver or Cobalt Blue, and it was neither. It was Dreamer, the original Dreamer, which was cool. We got to learn more about Dreamers and, all that. And, the way I've been taking this season is, this is not the Flash's final season. This is the Arrowverse's final season. The Flash's final season, to me, was Season 8. I've been saying that for months. It should have ended Season 8. But Flash Season 9 is an Arrowverse final season. Looking at this episode in that way, this is a good episode. Looking at it as a final season of The Flash, this episode could have been 100 times better. In regards to the number one complaint I see this episode on Twitter and from YouTubers so far is that The Flash was not in it, which is ridiculous, considering Barry's The Flash and he was in it like 5 different times. The other thing I see most talked about is Keone and Mark, their whole scene things that they got, which Mark is leaving, I guess. I didn't know he was, but I don't think any of us really knew he was, but he is. We do know he'll be in a series finale, so he'll be back for that. But, he could be back in 908 for all we know, or even 909, depending on it, depends how far away it takes place. But 907, it was just like a Supergirl crossover, but without Barry and Kara. That's what this episode was. It was like they took the two side characters of Flash and Supergirl and said, hey, let's throw them together in an episode, and here's that. They reused a storyline from the premiere of Iris not wanting to, how should I phrase this? Want her future to play out the way it's supposed to. So she's trying to change it, but it ends up causing a minor crisis that pretty much forces her to pick that future. Because remember in 901, a nuke went off when she didn't. Mainly because of time loop. And Barry died several times over, but and then now this episode, they're stuck in a dream world. Granted, it wasn't because of Iris, it was because of Dreamer and the original Dreamer. But they were stuck in this dream world, going through different dreams, because Iris couldn't accept her future. Which, by the way, one headline, that entire book finally came to life, and she tries to avoid it. And also Nora. But again, Nora is 3 months early. So, why Iris was so hell-bent on, let's not make this future happen when it's like, come on. That's not, whatever. That was the biggest problem I had with this episode, was Iris just accept it. You know one thing about your future. You knew 2 and one of them didn't happen the way it's supposed to happen. You're getting a Pulitzer, whatever the hell it's called. You should be happy about that. The fact that and you don't have to worry about competition later. You're already beating them out of the water with that. So, do that. It's just like, I don't get what they're trying to do with Iris this season. Is it like, are you trying to make people more annoyed at her than we already are? I don't. And also a little tidbit that I mentioned that I couldn't help but notice, and I hated that I noticed it, is that when Iris was talking about the kid, she mentioned herself first. Like, what's going to happen to me, and then what's going to happen to the baby. I don't know. If I was a parent, my number one priority in that situation would probably be the kid first, not myself. But that's just me. I'm not a parent. But But, that caught my attention right away. I was like, oh, here we go. I can't wait for YouTube reviews and all that. Just like the comments attacking Iris. Like, she carried it more by herself than she did her own baby, from what it seemed like in that scene. Like, come on. I can just picture the comments, like, in YouTube videos and that. But, Dreamer, it was really nice to see her again. Cecile use her powers, usefully this time, again. They're doing a good job with Cecile this season. Now, if they took Season 8's writing, Season 8 Barry, and Season 9 Cecile, this would be the best season of the show. But nope. We're stuck with whatever we got over the past 7 episodes, so. Look, I've been saying this for months. I think Season 8 should have been the last season. I think if they changed the ending to a series finale ending, it would have worked out perfectly. But am I glad we're getting Season 9? Yes. Only in regards to 909, which is when Alva returns. That's the only reason. Like, Red Death could have easily been a comic book issue thing for the Arrowverse. They could have done like a Earth Prime bounce-off canon comics that introduced Red Death. They could have done with Cobalt Blue too. Granted, we don't know how the Cobalt Blue arc will go. When we find that out, I think it'll be fair to judge this entire season as a whole. Right now, it's not great, but I think 908 will be far better than 901 through 907. I already know it, because it looks very interesting. Now, the thing is, if 908 is not connected to Cobalt Blue, I will be let down, because we're dealing with time. We're dealing with reality shifting and changing. It needs to be resolved around Cobalt Blue. They made an entire interlude episode last year in Season 8. Well, not an entire interlude, but parts of an interlude connected to the last ever novel of Season 8. We need to do that for the final season. I get that people want, one giant story, but there's a reason that we don't have that right now. It's because it doesn't work. In Season 1 through 5, we had one villain for the season. Season 1 and 2, it worked. But Season 3, Savitar didn't introduce till 309, right? Or 307, somewhere around there. He was dragged out for zero reason. In Season 4, DeVoe was a mess. In Season 5, you know how Cicada went. It was an even bigger mess with both Cicadas and Thawne. Like, that's not, Eric Wallace legitimately saved the overlaps of a season to where we're not getting villains entirely dragged out across 20 episodes. We're wrapping up villains for fillers now, which I think is good. Granted, Red Deathstroke could have been 100 times better with one episode. That being said, it's better than that cringy story arc being dragged out across 13 episodes, guys. I'd rather have it done in 5 than 13, if that's going to be how it's going to be. So, look, 906 could have been better. 907 could have been better. But 908, 909 through 913 look amazing from everything that we know so far. And I'm not going to guarantee anything because I don't know what's going to happen in 908 besides the description and the promo that we got, which we'll be breaking down tomorrow morning. But 908 looks legitimately good. Looks like the best episode of the season. And I think that we all need to focus on the thing that I brought up earlier, which is the fact that this is the Flash's last season, but it's also the Arrowverse's last season. This episode really shined a bright light that this is the last season of the Arrowverse. And 908 will show another bright light that this is the last season of The Flash. 909 will show another glimpse of, hey, this last season of the Arrowverse, we're wrapping it all up. 906, Flash's last season. 905, 904, Arrowverse's last season. 901 through 903, Flash's last season. That is a recurring theme this season, is we're shifting and changing between the Flash's last season and the Arrowverse's last season. We've changed it. If you pay attention to every episode so far, and 908 and 909, and what we know about 910 through 913, we are wrapping up the Arrowverse very slowly but carefully. Granted, it could be quicker, but it's not. And we are, again, shifting and changing between Flash's last season and the Arrowverse last season. Like, 908 will be heavily Barry and Arrow-centric. 906, whether you like it or not, it was related to the Flash with Becky Sharp coming back and getting kind of a redemption arc for her story. At least to me, it was a redemption arc for how it was horribly written in season 4 by Todd Helbing. I think, it kind of worked for me in a lot of ways. That being said, the other parts weren't that great. But the point is, it was still like an episode that was for the Flash's last season, not the Arrowverse. Whereas 907 was, 908 will be Flash-related, 909 and 913, well, maybe not 913. 913 debatable. I think when we see it fully, we'll be able to fully debate that. But 909 will be an Arrowverse send-off. And it'll be at the full front of it for us. Whereas, like, this episode was kind of like, well, we're going to bring in Dreamer. We're going to mention the League, which is the first time we ever gotten the League mentioned in the show, in the Arrowverse, so that was something. And, John, Jones, and Dig, and Brainy, and Kara, who are miraculously, at least for Kara, Martian Manhunter, and Brainy, are all miraculously off-world, which wasn't Brainy in the future? In Supergirl series finale, didn't he go to the future? Or did I miss something there? Could be wrong, but, But look, it's a whole thing of how they write 908 through 913. But again, I've been saying this for months. The back half of season 9 will be much better than the first half. We're done with that first half. 901 through 906, and kind of 907 too, because we have an odd number. And 13 minus 6 is 7. 13 minus 7 is 6. So we're done with that half mark. 906 and 907 were those 2 half points. We're done with it. We have 6 episodes left. And I truly do believe, I have a feeling that these last 6 of The Flash will genuinely be very good. I don't know about, in particular 908, it could change for the episode, how I feel about when it airs. But I am excited for 908, more than I was for 907 from the promo. So I think it's fair to say that, you can have your opinions about 907, whether you like it or not. But it wasn't the worst episode ever. But it wasn't the best. It was better than 906, that's for damn sure. But it still could have been way better. And I think that it's the final season, but we're also setting up the Arrowverse. We all need to look at that and pay attention to it. Because it was brought to the limelight this episode. So, yeah. Thank you so much for the video. Have a good day. Have a good night. Stay safe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.